Fox 5's Sydney Persing is live on the Hill tonight with what you need to know. Sydney?
Katie, the most recent government shutdown, that was the longest in American history, and it's really hard to believe that just in a matter of weeks, we could be back in that mess again. Again, that shutdown lasted 43 days, and we know it was painful for millions of Americans and so many of our neighbors right here in the DMV. Food banks were overwhelmed, SNAP recipients left in limbo, and federal workers went without pay for so long. Well, that November deal to end the nightmare, it only funded the government through January 30th. January 1st is now on Thursday. Days ago, Congress adjourned for the holidays without making any obvious progress toward funding it any further. I asked George Washington University's Peter Loge what he thinks our viewers should prepare for now.
Odds are very good we're going to have another shutdown. Everybody I've talked to in the House and the Senate just says, well, of course we are. This isn't a theoretical, abstract political debate. This is real lives and real families in Northern Virginia, D.C., Maryland. This is federal workers. These aren't just high-level federal workers who make the news. These are folks who do the day-to-day work of government.
You'll remember that Democrats' main sticking point last time around was that they wanted an extension of health care subsidies. But after 43 days of Republicans refusing to negotiate, a handful of Democrats voted to reopen the government without an extension, which means, as you mentioned, starting in January now, millions of folks across the country are expected to see an increase in how much they pay for premiums each month. Loge thinks that Democrats might again make that health care their sticking point this time around, thinking they might have enough leverage to get Republicans to the table. Some Democrats say it'll be too late by then, as Republicans work to settle on a health care plan too.
The bottom line is very clear. You can't do it after January 1st. Once it expires, the toothpaste is out of the tube.
We have to get into this game. We can't sit back and think that because Democrats have basically owned the health care message in polling over the last 15 years that we should not have a plan. We definitely need one.
And I'll mention, Katie, that after the government reopened, I interviewed a furloughed federal worker who was going back to work. It was her first day. And I asked her if she was excited to get back to work. And she said, sure, but that she was bracing for another shutdown on January 30th. She expected that's where we would be. Certainly, we will be waiting and watching closely to see if that's the case.
Thanks, Sydney.